Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I wanted to share with you a few tips and possibly help you understand all of the requirements in qualifying for your CPA. So, what is a CPA? CPA stands for a Certified Public Accountant. They are trusted financial advisors who help individuals, businesses, and other organizations plan and reach their financial goals. Says here that all CPAs are accountants, but not all accountants are CPAs. And that I do agree with. We have this web page here by NASBA. They are the National Association of State Boards of Accountancy. And here's a little bit about them. They started in 1908. They have served as a forum for the nation's 55 state boards of accountancy, which administer the uniform CPA examination. They have licensed more than 650,000 CPAs, and they regulate the practice of public accountancy in the United States. NASBA is going to be the organization's website that we go through to look at the requirements to sit for the CPA exam, as well as get certified and licensed. We'll scroll down here. We have here the eligibility requirements. This is for a first-time applicant. You must have completed at least 150 semester hours of college education. This is equivalent to a master's degree, though you do not have to get a master's degree. You can get your 150 credit hours by first getting a bachelor's degree, which is required. You can get a bachelor's degree in just about any subject. That being said, you must have a certain amount of courses or a certain amount of credits within accounting subjects. That's going to be 24 semester hours or 36 quarter hours. And at least 15 of those, or 22.5 quarter hours, are at the upper level. And 24 will be in business administration. So you have to have a total of 48 in the concentration of accounting, which would be 24 in accounting subjects and 24 in business administration subjects. And that's out of the 150. The rest could be in basically any subject you so choose. Some people choose to get their 150 credits by getting their bachelor's and then going on to get a master's degree, which is usually 150 credit hours. Or you can get your bachelor's degree, which will give you 120 hours, and then you can get the 30 doing either another minor, or you could possibly go back and get a certificate, or you could just take a variety of random classes to reach your 150 credit hours. Let's see here. It says if you have completed the educational requirement at the time of application, you must submit an official transcript. You must submit showing that you have achieved your degree. Any other transcripts, photocopies of transcripts are not official. If you are currently enrolled in college, because you can sit for the exam previous to graduating. That being said, you must be completed with your degree within 180 days from sitting for the exam, the first section. So that would be 6 months. So say you're going to graduate in December of 2023. You can sit for your first section of the exam 6 months before that. So that would be June. And then you would need to graduate no later than 6 months following that. The official transcript and certificate of enrollment must be submitted to the CPA examination services directly from the academic institution. So do not submit it yourself. It needs to be submitted from your school. After all the education requirements have been met, you must submit the official transcript if you have not done so yet. If you fail to do either of these things, all of your examination scores will be invalid. And here's some information for international students. If you're an international student, you might want to come take a look at this website here and look at this section here. Here's a public disclosure act, course requirements. It's going to be pass or fail. Internship or online courses are acceptable. So online courses, if you went to school online, that is also acceptable. Pass or fail classes, internships, those are all acceptable credits. And there is no residency requirement. All right, here's some materials that need to be submitted. Those will be your official transcripts, a few other enrollment evaluation transcripts, if applicable. So if these apply to you, I'm sure you will know about that already. Any accommodations you need for the exam, you can find you can get the request form and fill that out and turn it in a little bit early so you can allow a few weeks for them to go through your file. Supporting documents are required to submit at the time of application. So applicants with disabilities, here's a form here you're going to fill out if you have any disabilities or impairments. Here's some of the fees that are involved. So if you're a first-time applicant, you're going to have an application fee of $170. It's kind of high, but not too bad. If you needed to retake the exam, that's going to be a little bit lower. That's going to be $90. Here we go. Here's a single examination fees for each individual part. So you got the audit and attestation, and that's going to be $238. They're actually all the same cost for each portion of the exam as of right now. I believe coming up in 2023, they have changed the testing a little bit. But as of today, there are 4 different parts. Each part is going to focus on a specific subject. So for the first one, we have auditing and attestation. You're going to have business environments and concepts. That's going to be the one that changes here pretty soon. You have FAR, which is financial accounting and reporting. And lastly, you have regulation, which is going to focus more on tax and stuff like that. So there is no provision for withdrawing from the examination and or requesting an extension. So no requesting an extension and no refund. Application and or examination fees are non-refundable. You may take these required test sections individually and in any order. So you do not need to take them in any specific order. If you decide, a lot of people I do know take the FAR exam typically as that's the more difficult section of the exam. Regulation, if you struggled with tax in school, that could also be another difficult one. The BEC, which is the one that's being rescinded, is known as the more digestible section of the exam. So we have here, like I said previously, you can take it in any order you so choose, but are required to pass all 4 exams within an 18-month period. So if you that's a year and a half. So if you sit for one portion of the exam, make sure that you plan accordingly to finish the other 3 sections of the exam within 18 months. And that begins on the date of the score release for the first passed section. So after you pass that first section, the 18-month trial or the 18-month period begins. If you wish to transfer examination score from Washington to another state, please. So I guess there is a way you can transfer scores if you end up moving halfway through your exam or partially through your exam. Now, I wanted to touch base on some possible changes that are going to be going on in the exam. Now, for this CPA exam, you will need, on top of the requirements I mentioned above, you will need some work history, and that's going to be at least a year or an equivalent to 2,000 work hours under a licensed CPA. Now, this varies from state to state. Right now, I'm speaking of Washington State specifically. See, I have Washington State here. You would want to look at your specific state. So some of the CPA revisions that we may be looking at is we're still going to be studying the 3 core studies: accounting, auditing, and tax. Only now you'll be able to choose a specialization which focuses on 3 different topics. You get to choose between the 3. The first one is business analysis and reporting. The second one is tax compliance and planning. And the third is information systems and controls. So depending on what you enjoy doing in school or what you see yourself possibly being more skilled at, you can choose which one you desire. As of now, we have no previous knowledge of these portions or of these specializations, so I couldn't tell you which one's more difficult or which one's easier amongst the 3. So you pick your poison. So that's basically it. I just wanted to share with you some of the requirements for the CPA exam, considering that it's one of the more difficult exams out there. You want to make sure you have everything in order. You understand all of the requirements that you need to go through. There are some other useful links that you may want to check out. Has here the AICPA. That's a good one. That is actually who issues the CPA exam. So if you decide you want to go through and look at some of the other resources they have to offer, frequently asked questions, videos, checklists, guides, has it right here on their website. So yeah, that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great day.